Hello everybody and welcome to Idaho. Behind me stands the oldest building in Idaho, Mission of the Sacred Heart. This building was built between 1850 and 1853 by two Jesuit missionaries and 300 members of the Coeur d'Alene Indian tribe. Back in the 1840s, the Coeur d'Alene Indian tribe started hearing rumors about mysterious men in black robes that possessed special powers. So, being curious, they invited these men with the black robes to live with them. And those men we know as the Jesuit missionaries. So from 1850 to 1853, this building was actually built with the two missionaries and 300 members of the Coeur d'Alene tribe. This building was actually built by weaving grass and straw over a framework, then solidifying it with river mud. So they didn't use any nails. Back then they had to get creative since they had minimal building supplies. So that's what they used. A lot of modern buildings today have nails. So kind of looking at this building thinking they didn't use nails is pretty interesting, isn't it? This is another place that I actually have always wanted to stop along the interstate. So I figured, it's on the way home, so I might as well stop here and check it out. So let's take a walk inside and kind of look around for a minute and see what it looks like. Let's do it. Look how thick them window frames are, how deep they kind of go in, right? How far back they're set with all the old windows. The big old pillars, they used for all the old buildings back in the day. And look at this beautiful foundation. That just looks so beautiful, so well made. That's why buildings, all these old buildings are still standing today, because they were built tough, and built solid. Unlike today's buildings that are built out of, plywood and cheap crap. So, all right, let's go inside. Man. Even the steps are pretty tough. All right. Now we may need to be quiet when we're in here. I don't think we can just go talking really loud. So let's go. So quiet in here. Look at the beautiful design up on the ceiling. It's so beautiful. Wow. All the beautiful old pictures from back in the day. Check this out. It's a beautiful old piano, or what do they call it, an organ? I don't think it's a pipe organ. Something, right? Here's the old confession box. They did say the Jesuit missionaries were actually Catholic missionaries, so. You can see in there. Wow. Look how solid this wood is. It's still got the original windows. beautiful floors. I wonder how thick these beams are that they put in here. These planks of wood. Just imagine how hard it was to saw down them trees way back in the day, you know. Cut them all down with just hand saws and, whew, man. But I'm sure back then this was all filled with benches, right? That go all the way back. And it actually feels nice and cool in here, even though there's no air conditioning. I don't know, maybe they do have AC now. Either way. Look how beautiful that is. I wonder how hard it was for them to build that kind of like circle. It's pretty neat. All the buildings from back then had all the nice artwork and like designs in them, and they really knew how to do it. It's very impressive. Look at all that beautiful artwork. Look, it's still the original wallpaper. Look at, well, not wallpaper, but what would you call it back then? Maybe it would be called wallpaper. Look at it. I'm not going to touch it, but look. It's still the original. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? After all these years, the original stuff is still attached to the walls. That's awesome. That's beautiful. I don't know if you can hear the wood creaking. I wonder if these are the original pictures that hung up here in 1850 something. They've got to be, right? I mean, they look pretty old. I wonder what is this for, like hanging a lantern or a lamp? Or is this where they hang up the sinners? I don't know. I'm just kidding, by the way. Please do not open the organ. Yeah, it is an organ. When I seen it earlier, I was thinking, to me, I always see pipes behind it, like a pipe organ, right? So yeah, I was right. It was an organ. Well, the other one also, same thing, but. Oh. You know, the original chandeliers in this building when it was built in 1853 were made out of tin cans, used tin cans. That's what they use as their chandeliers. Of course, those tin cans are long gone today, you know, but I'm sure that ain't the original, is it? Well, I mean, the candles aren't, right? But, It's just so quiet in here. It just kind of, man, it just, very peaceful. Kind of gives you a lot of peace just standing here and nice and cool and just quiet. Man, that's beautiful. Yeah, in 1961, this building was actually registered as a national landmark. 1961, you think it would have been earlier than that, right? Then 1966, it was added to the National List of Historic Places. But yeah, it's so beautiful. I had to take a few minutes to actually just kind of sit there and just so peaceful in there. The air felt nice and cool like AC, but I doubt it's AC, but man, just to sit there and think and hear your heartbeat in your ears. Or is that hypertension? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, you know, even if you're not a religious person, you don't have to be a religious person to like enjoy the beauty of these old buildings, right? And the history of these old buildings. I mean, it's stuff like this that shaped America, you know, the early days of America, the United States. Yeah, this is what shaped it, things like this. So it's good that they've kind of kept it nice and kept it preserved. I did see a few of the walls in there that had where people carved their name, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, such and such, you know, with a date. I don't know why people do that. I mean, what do you got to do that, people? Come on. Anyways, checking out the back of it. Look how big it is. Wow. Huh. You know, the ceiling just goes right above them windows, right? Inside. So I wonder what's up there. Is there like a secret stairs that goes up the back? And there's a whole another section inside the roof of this? Like off limits to the public? Possibly. Never know, right? We will never know. Wow, look at this beautiful view back here. There's a lot of school children here today. So it's be kind of a cool trip to take as a child, right? Like a little field trip. Don't have no homework. Don't got to listen to teachers teach you in the classroom. Just get out and run in the yard and play and enjoy and just love it, you know? All right. Down here is an old cemetery that has the remains of, it says, the original caretakers and some white settlers. Wow. You still see some flowers down there. A piece of the old grave. But you can't really read it that good now. See if we can walk over here and see what it says. See if there's anything inscribed on it. Yeah, look at that. Martin S.R., 1848 to 1916. Rock of the Ages. Look at that. That's beautiful. Wow. This thing is very well preserved and I'm glad nobody's kicked it down or broke it, you know. A bunch of teenage kids. And there are some down there too. I'm not gonna step in here and be walking all over graves, but I just thought that was kind of neat. I don't know if there's anything down that way. Not sure that's any kind of main trail, but this is really neat. I never expected this to be down here when walking over on the edge of the property. So that's a nice little bonus, right? I wonder how they found this. How did they know this was down here? Hidden inside the weeds, like probably people just, you know, exploring the woods here and trying to find old remnants of the past, right? So glad we've seen it. Let's go back up. Oh, I didn't even see this when I come down the trail right here and down this trail. That's where we came from, down that trail. I didn't even notice this. It says Henry Miller, 1865 to 1924. Wow. Probably a caretaker of the cemetery. I wonder how many other graves are down in here. Maybe some without gravestones and some without markers that we don't know about, right? All right. So there's a lot of kids coming down here. So oh, them are nice people. Taking a bunch of kids down there for a field trip. Lady asked me, was there a moose down there? I said, no, was there supposed to be a moose down there? Well, we seen a moose down here earlier. Like, well, I didn't know that. No moose, no bears. I'm still intact, so. If there is a moose, he's somewhere around here. Said he was down here in the lower part, so. Well, that's all right. At least if there was a moose, they would. And it wanted to attack somebody, it'd get me, right? Better than getting the children. Sacrifice, right? All right, let's head back. Kind of sitting in the side yard. There was, of course, the mission. And like as on the picture, you got like a yard between it, grass. And then somewhere over here was the buildings that burnt down in the fire back in the day. So yeah, and then the place we went down the hill, there were supposedly some more buildings down there, but cool. Just trying to look around, imagine what it looked like back in the time it was built, you know. Got the old bell right there. Yeah. Which we're actually going to walk up to right now. This bell was donated to the former MONAC, Museum of Native American Cultures in Spokane. The bell's original location was described as coming from a mission in the Northwest. Wow. So this is probably the bell. A mission. What other missions are around here in the Northwest? Maybe somewhere. Look at this. I wonder how heavy that thing is. Isn't that beautiful? Ding ding. It's an old bell. I wonder what the process was to make a bell like that back in the day. Well, I forgot to mention this place actually used to be a stopping point for travelers and settlers coming across the area, kind of like a house of refuge or whatever you call it, place to stop and relax, maybe get some food, repair your wagon, do some things. Since they did have a blacksmith here, a building, but you know, unfortunately it's gone now. But you know, maybe they could have got some horseshoes redone, or right. Yeah. Now we're going to go into this blue building over here, right? It's a historic parish house. It was built in 1887, originally served as living quarters for the Jesuit missionaries. I always say Jesuit, it's Jesuit missionaries, and as a community hub for the Coeur d'Alene tribe. So let's walk in here and take a gander. It's beautiful. Here we go. All right. Wow, it's so beautiful. Look at that stove. That's a very beautiful stove, isn't it? I always say stove. It's like a fireplace, right?
Avoid as much as possible wiping your nose and spitting.
I guess the original parish house was burned down in 1864, and then they rebuilt it the same year. So this is the one they rebuilt in 1864. It says many of the Jesuits at Old Mission were Europeans, and to them meals were social occasions. Breakfast, usually taken at 7:05 a.m., was in silence. Lunch and supper were accompanied by inspirational religious readings.
Nice stove. This Mrs. English's stove, she had a stove like that. And the woman I told you about that fell out of her stool, broke her hip. She's chopping on the wood.
Just like that, huh?
Just like that one now.
Wow.
In a certain sense, with him was making him able to stand on his feet and
Wow, look at this beautiful house chapel.
There was not always agreement. They argued among themselves at times.
Beautiful
Always, of
organ.
course, in a gentleman's manner. But there were strong feelings about things.
Oh, it was rebuilt in 1888. Look. Oh, look, it's old pictures of the mission way back in the day. Check that out. If I can get a better view.
While at the table, keep your eyes cast down. Avoid making noise in eating. It cannot be too fast.
Well, as you can see in the pictures inside the parish house, that house actually didn't used to be blue. At least it didn't look like it in the picture. It looked more white, just white. And this looked more, I don't know, it's really hard to tell the color of what this looked like. And it had like an old wooden picket fence and like a wagon trail that come up right here. So it looks a little different. I don't know why they painted that house blue with white trim, but you know, I don't know, I think it would have looked better as the original color, personally. Someone said there's a moose down here. Like I said earlier, another lady just told me there is moose down here. So I think I might walk back over here and see if I can see it. All right, everybody, this is where I'm going to end my video for the day. Well, just the video of this place. I still got some more places to stop at today, so keep an eye out for my next video, another video. So you guys take it easy. I really hope you enjoyed this beautiful mission of the Sacred Heart. And I'll see you guys on the next adventure. See you later.